And yes, at first I will be happy if you will say how good our connection is. It will be wonderful. And yes, my name is Alex and I'm living in Houston right now, already more than 1 month. And yes, um, hello to our moderators and hello Dima from Russia. It will be the first time I watch real life with Alex. Hello Dima, I'm happy to see you too. You're wonderful. You're a really wonderful person and thank you of course for your support. Good afternoon and I will be happy. I was watching only records. Thank you, Dima, for your support. I didn't expect what you will watch me. And anyway, thank you for such wonderful surprise. And yeah, after 1 month of living in the USA, in Houston, I want to make some conclusions, to summarize somehow. And of course, at this moment, I'm sitting here in this wonderful little park near Herman Park in Houston. And I was thinking, what's happened? What's happened with me and which cultural shock I have. And I have a lot of things what I want to say to you today. And of course, I am counting from those moments when I'm was relieved from detention center. I will count only those time where I was already outside. And yes, but before you can support me, you can leave like and subscribe to me. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot for me. You can buy me a coffee. And I want to say thank you, of course, for your wish list, which you are helping to me. And thank you to our moderators. You are the best. Yes, moderators. Thank you, all of you. And when I was thinking, what should I say? What was cultural shock for me? To be honest, everything. I'm not joking, everything. It is cultural shock for me, like completely. And I was talking before, and I want to say this to you. First, what I noticed, it was people. People, of course, they're smiling. They're smiling. It's not fake smile. It's like real smile, and they're like supporting you, and it's surprising you, especially after. Of course, I was using internet. I knew what people are. People, they're wonderful, and but it's in real life. It's completely different. Completely, and that's what I noticed. People here very kind, very supportive, and you can feel this. Example, when I was walking, just walking, and nobody was touching, just walking by myself, and I had this headset. Yes, I was having this headset, and I was thinking music, listening music. And one guy, he stopped me. I'm like, what's happened? So like, I'm good guy. But he stopped me and he said, you have wonderful shoes. I like your shoes. He gave me compliments. I just was walking. I was like, okay. And it's happened in Herman Park. And next time when I was walking, another guy stopped me and he said, wow, you have good shoes. And I'm like, is it always happening so? And sometimes when yes, it is cultural shock when people giving you compliments and they're strangers. They're strangers completely. They can say to you a couple of words, these small talks like hello, we just walking towards each other, and they can say to you hi, smile to you, and oh, you have good shoes. I'm like, wow, thank you. And that's all what I usually say. Because for me it's like giving strangers compliments. Maybe I will say something wrong. I'm like, okay. And yes, I want to see these shoes. Yes, I will show these shoes because everyone, and these shoes, yes, they look, oh my goodness, can I show this? Like, yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was like this, the black one and with red platform, yes. And these compliments, they like from nowhere. Just you're walking and people giving you compliments and like, okay, I got this idea, I like this idea, I love compliments, and in future I will try to say someone, hello, you have nice shoes, or hello, you have nice haircut. And these small talks, they of course pretty yeah, wonderful. It's a difference which I noticed. Of course, after 1 month, it's impossible to notice everything, but it is only first parts. It is people, how kind they are, how supportive they are. And yes, I see our chat. I see here um, Daphne, Dima, why? Wow, nice one. Thank you, Dima. Thank you, Dima. I will be happy if you will support Dima, if you will subscribe to him. He is a wonderful guy, and I hope in future, maybe one day, we will have again live stream together. Who knows? Alex, your new jacket looks good on you. Thank you. This new jacket bought you for me. Thank you for this support. And yes, another thing which I noticed, and yes, it's from my wish list on Amazon. You bought me. Another thing what you, of course, will notice, it is quality of living. Quality of living, of course, completely different. And you can feel this. I just want to compare where I'm from. I'm from Siberia, far east of Russia. Population of my town where I was living, it was like 40,000 people. Yeah, it's nothing if we will compare with Houston. Houston, it is fourth largest city in the USA. And of course, you can, of course, notice how people live. And yes, Dima, in Russia, people will look at you like you're weird. Yes, people will notice, like, look at you like, who are you? What do you want from me? They will look at you and they will maybe somehow judge you, like, if you will smile, especially if you will be like not everyone, if you will smile, if you will be having own vibe, people can look at you like you are weird completely. Especially I know this in Siberia, yes, because my life experience, it is Siberia, it is not Moscow or St. Petersburg. Yeah, and quality of living you can feel everywhere. It is cars, it is how people behave themselves. You don't feel what they're miserable. You don't feel this at all. You feel what they're having life and they're living this life. And sometimes you can, like example, when you go into the store or just walking, their behavior different. You can feel what they're more open, they're more kind, and you can feel this pretty well, my dear friends. And we have strong wind, as you can see. I hope what our sound is good, perfect, and we're using for our sound these wonderful microphones. Yeah, and of course, quality of living. You can notice this. Dima from Russia has a lot of good videos. Give him look. Yes, it will be wonderful if you will look at his videos. It is a wonderful idea. Thank you to our moderators, of course. Yeah. Another what I want to say to you, it is variety of everything. Variety example of restaurants. For during this month, I was walking with you to different places like Five Guys, Whataburger, And will be happy if you didn't watch these videos. You can look at my experience how I was ordering first time in fast food restaurants. It was awkward, I would say, because I didn't know what to say, how people doing this. I was trying sometimes to listen how others people are ordering food, but anyway, I did it. I handle it, and varieties of restaurants. That's impressive. You can find here in Houston so many of everything, like McDonald's, KFC. I never was at McDonald's yet here. In future, I hope I will be. And in KFC, I never was in the USA. I'm talking about the USA experience. But anyway, this difference between people in these restaurants, you can do videos here, and nobody will point at your fingers. People will support you. Sometimes they will smile towards you, and they will like, okay. Of course, it's important to ask permission for shooting videos. But what I want to say to you, every time when I was asking, people was, they were kind and they were like, were interested. And for them it was interesting. Why you want to do this? Like, what purpose? Maybe you have YouTube channel, you have social media. They were not saying to you like, oh my goodness, it is private territory, property. I want to relocate a little myself to the shadow because, yes. Yes. Another thing, of course, that I will talk today with you about weather. It is, of course, very important topic. Yes, people were not judging me. They were saying like, yeah, Alex, you can do video here, and we are happy. But please, in sometimes they were saying like, don't make videos of our products in case. But you can do it. Example here to do live streams here, and it's not problem for us. But it's okay. I mean, and you feel this how people kind, different vibe, completely different vibe. I want to say thank you for your donations, Gary, and before there was donation from Bill, if I'm correct. Thank you very much for donations. It's very important for me. I want to find this message from Bill. Alex, just FY. It can also be flirting. I get it. Okay, I get it. It can be also be flirting, who knows. Sometimes for me it's difficult to recognize flirting people with me or just they're doing jokes, because it is the way how culture here difference in cultures, because people doing these small talks, doing these compliments, and these flirting guys, they were doing me about shoes. If you say this, it was flirting, it was guys, they were saying to me, Alex, they didn't know my name, they were saying like, you have wonderful shoes. Wow, how expensive they are, or maybe how, yes, they were asking me, what brand is it? And I'm like, I don't know, because what can I say? I really don't know. And yes, and for me, this feeling what people can talk with you just, yes, because they're open towards you. This open mindset, it is different, it is impressive, and it is really, really shocking. Really shocking. Especially, I'm from Siberia, my friends. I want to remind this every time. Yes, Alex and Dima could discuss music, movies, lots of things. We all chat with each other as well. They're great double acts. Thank you, of course, for your support and for your opinion. Other thing, what you can notice here, yes, it is diversity of people, diversity of nations. You can find here different people from different countries, and you can feel what the USA it is country of immigrants, because you can hear different languages, especially Spanish. Maybe because I'm in Houston. Maybe this is why. But sometimes you can find here. I was one day was walking and I saw these three wonderful girls, and they were perfectly swearing in Russian language. And that's how I understand what here in Houston you can also find Russians. And they're, of course, they were doing this without an accent because they're Russians. They were swearing pretty well. And I'm like, okay, Russians here too, I can see this. But they were like, they just didn't like what people, oh, somebody was screaming, it was like cheering someone. Yes, and yes, thank you, Bill. What movies, TV shows gave you the strongest ideas about the USA? Netflix, I usually was watching Netflix, and Netflix kind of changed me. It was, of course, helping me to study English, and also, if we are talking about imagination, Game of Thrones, wonderful. But about the USA, Sex Education, I think it is good movie. Yes, there are a lot of them which I like, but if we are talking, yes, a lot of them. Yes, I like a lot of them. This sun, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it is Houston, gentlemen and ladies. Houston, we don't have here snow. It is another shock for me, because I never was living outside. I mean, I was in South Korea, but there we had snow anyway, a little bit. But here you have real strong sun. And I want to change again this location because sun is moving. I like to have shadow. One moment. Yes. It is, I hope, better. And yes, if we will talk about Netflix, it's changed, of course, a lot. It's helped me to understand better American culture, and of course, YouTube helped me a lot. Yes, and be careful. Not all people are nice. Make sure the guy yelling, "No, it is okay. It is okay." Yes, thank you, of course. Other cultural shock. I wrote some things on paper because I believe it will. I wanted to make this little bit logical, like step by step. Of course, it is buildings and infrastructures. Where I was living, there we had old Soviet buildings, and all of them in terrible, of course, condition. You can imagine this. I'm sure you can imagine this completely. And yes, buildings, here you can find new, and all of them, by my standards, they're new. Even if they're 20 years old, 30 years old, of course, it is new buildings. And all of them clean, yes, clean buildings. And roads also clean, and you don't find these holes as much as in Russia. You can find these holes everywhere. And yes, that's why I'm sure what buildings, diversity of styles, diversity in, yes, how creative methods, and you can find different design in buildings. As a result, of course, yeah, Houston has this completely different vibe. It's not far east of Russia, of course. You can feel this, you can see this. And of course, you can see what it is wonderful, so enjoyable to walk around Houston. It's really enjoyable, especially when sidewalks. in good conditions. Yes, it is wonderful. And the example in Russia, in far east of Russia, we have snow at winter. Can you imagine this? And when government is corrupted, you can see this thing. It is happening every year. Every year it is happening. Government services, they're like surprised. Oh, again snow? Oh. And of course, they're not cleaning this snow at all. And as a result, the snow will be, through time, looks like dirty mess with shit of dogs, with trash. And yes, it is reality. Welcome to Russia, welcome to Siberia. And of course, all this money budget, which theoretically budget has for cleaning these roads, officials taken to their own pockets. Yes, it is what I wanted to say to you. And thank you for your messages. I see them. I think you mean Sex and the City. I was talking, hello Sam, I was talking about Sex Education. It is a series on Netflix. Yes, and it's wonderful. And yes, another thing what, of course, giving you different shock, and it is about parks. Parks here, gorgeous, my friends. Of course, I'm understanding what I'm living in Houston. Houston, it is fourth largest city in the USA. But anyway, not all Russian big cities have good parks, I'll be honest. And of course, in these parks you can find different animals, you can find also, yes, entertainment, different entertainment, and you can feel this, yeah, pretty well. It's wonderful, I want to say to you. Example, like squirrels, they're beautiful, my friends, and I saw squirrel only once, but I want to find another one and to make this video like squirrel, yes. And ducks you can find in these parks. Yeah. Did you ever find your squirrel? I saw only where I'm living with my sponsors, Heather and Steven. Thank you, my sponsors, of course, a lot. And I saw only there this. And yes, I see your messages. Are there no squirrel in Russia? In the place where I was living, I never saw them. Let's be honest. Yeah. And Dima from Russia, did you enjoy X-Files? X-Files? What is it? The name of movie? What is it? Yes. Sure, I enjoy any movie with her. Okay. And another thing which shocked me, it is prices. I already was saying this to you. Prices here insane. Especially Alex, X-Files, it is a TV series. It is, it seems for me I was watching some of these X-Files series before, but I completely forget about this. I must rewatch maybe some things, because it is wonderful. Yes, I get it. It's about aliens, if I'm correct, or not. I can be wrong, yes. And yes, prices here insane. Example, for one time, if you're going to the fast food restaurant, you can see, of course, you can spend like $20. I think you've heard what I spent in Whataburger. No. It was Five Guys. I spent like $36 for one time. 36. Of course, I took there 2 burgers, but anyway, it is like impressive, expensive for me. And yes, That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling what. But it's important to understand what also salaries here are completely different. I see your message, Bill. Um, yes, the aliens plot was at the core. Yes, Alex, yes, it's about aliens and weird things. I like this. I like this. Yeah, and yeah, it's a wonderful movie. It seems for me I saw some episodes, if I'm correct. Yeah, and condition of everything, sidewalks, infrastructure, bus stations, everything is clean, tidy, I would say, and wonderful. You can enjoy this. Example, I was riding bus, not riding, yes, I was using bus for moving from one location to another, and price for one ticket will cost for you in Houston $1.25. Come on, $1.25. It is a lot. It is a lot. By local, maybe for local, it's like not expensive, but I feel it is very expensive because in Russian it's like more than 100 rubles. 100 rubles, just for one ride. I think it is enormous. Yes, I see message. Alex, would you like your viewers to suggest shows, movies that they think show aspects of the USA? I will be happy if people will give me such suggestions because in Russia I was watching them, your recommendations, and yeah, it is of course wonderful. $1.25 is a great price. For me, it is enormous. It is a lot. And of course, yeah. That's what the fuck I heard. I heard a nigga snoop. Yes. Another thing which I wanted to say to you, it's important, of course, to understand what population of Houston without suburban area, it is 2.3 million people. I was living in a small town, like 40,000 people. And of course, here, diversity of everything, it is shocking you. And quality of everything also shocking you. And that's why I'm shocked by all means. Yeah. And yes, I want to read your comments. Fourth biggest populated city in America. Yes, completely true. It is completely true, my dear friends. And I want to read your comments. And thank you to our moderators for helping me a lot. Sam said, Dima from Russia, I speak for American English, French and Russian and German. Wow, it's wonderful if, yes, it's wonderful when you know so many languages. Yes, I barely speak English. I hope that through time I will be able to improve myself here. And yes, of course, I made this thumbnail and I asked, I have this question, America is like in movies? And for me, it is. It is completely. Why I think so? Because when you're watching Netflix, when you see these videos, one moment, we have really good wind here. When you see and watching these movies thousands kilometers away, and you example look at these school buses, and you're like, oh my god. And these school buses, they like looks like for school, you like they yellow, they have these signs, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's so cool. And here the first time I couldn't stop to watch this school bus because it was like from movie, completely from movie, and you're like, wow. Wow, it is really wonderful. Also, post service, they have own cars, and I'm like, wow, again, It is very, very impressive, I want to say to you. And the most important, my association with school buses in Russia, it is old, terrible condition buses. They're always stinky. Because in Far East, what we can find there? Corrupted governments, and that's all. All buses in terrible, terrible condition, my dear friends. And yes, that's what you can see here. Also, I wanted to say to you about this about police. If in Russia, what I was feeling in Russia from police, well, they can be corrupted, what they can be expect from you what you will give something to them. And they can be also, how to say, not angry, but they can, their feelings, their emotions to, yes, they not, you're not thinking what it's safe to be with Russian police at all. You're not thinking, especially when you know what they're doing in Moscow, everywhere around Russia. And their support, and they're like, a lot of them is just their job, I'm understanding this. But anyway, Russian police can be corrupted, and you can feel this everywhere. Here you can feel different, you can feel safer yourself, just walking around. Maybe in my case it is because I'm asking asylum, but also, I don't know, I feel here safer, much safer than in Russia. Because, yeah, you see this. Yes, it's just about feelings. What was Alex shocked about? Missed beginning. I was shocked about, I want to repeat, of course, infrastructure. Infrastructure, it is roads, bridges. Like behind me, you can find this wonderful bridge. And this bridge was built for people, my friends, for ordinary people, like you and me. And I'm happy what, yeah, roads here, wonderful. People, small talks. It is also like people can give you compliments, real compliments, just because you're like, oh my goodness, and they're like, wow, wow, and oh, okay, Alex, thought something bad happened. I was, yeah, I was sharing, and I'm sharing right now about opinion, my opinion, what I was shocked about in America. Yeah. And yes, you can feel here much safer than in Russia, especially right now, when in Russia you can feel and see this mobilization. People only hiding, and hiding. And it is happening everywhere in Russia. It doesn't matter where you're living, and yeah, it is what it is. And of course, when I was talking about diversity in nations, how diverse country the USA is, it is completely true, because when you're walking around, you can hear different languages here in Houston. And yes, I've heard here, of course, Spanish. It is quite popular here, language. Also, I've heard here Russian and other languages like Turkey. Also, you can find here. Wow, it's windy. It's really windy. I hope our camera will not fly away. Yes, and let's read your comments. Alex, you speak better and clearer English than English than many US native norms. Thank you for your support, and I want to say a little bit about my experience. Once I went to a fast food restaurant, and there was a girl, and she was talking like, y'all, where you from? Like, y'all, what you want? I don't know. I cannot this repeat, and it was like y'all, y'all, and they're like, okay, okay, and I say this to her, and she's like, yeah, y'all. She's repeated this like, and this is shocking too. Diversity in pronunciation and accents. You can feel this everywhere. Like people can yell, say to you like, and you're like, what? Yes, it's quite funny. It's quite interesting when you're immersing yourself and you can feel what America, that in the USA, you can feel this diversity in cultures, in religions, and somehow they live and respect each other. At least what I feel right now after 1 month of living here. And everything what I'm talking, I must say it is, I'm talking about my experience. Different people have different, of course, opinion, but in my situation, it is wonderful, of course, experience too, and it's shocking, of course, too. Yes, Bill, quick, pick me up. Go to a dog park and see them play, and you can compliment people on their pets. Yes, you're right completely, because I noticed that sometimes people having dogs here, not pretty often, they can have dogs here, they're walking around with dogs, and here was one girl where I was walking at evening, and there a girl, and she had 3 dogs, and she was help, like help me, and it was funny, of course, situation, because I prefer cats. I'm not afraid small dogs. I'm not afraid, but usually they're most pretty often they can be more aggressive a little bit. Not aggressive, but they can bark on you and bark at you. And I'm like, was I was shocked. She had 3 dogs, and this girl was small, and she like, and these 3 dogs started to jump on me. I'm like, oh, help me, help me! I started to run from her direction, and it was, yeah, it was. That's what I noticed here. It is also cultural shock. So many people have animals, especially dogs. Of course, I believe, I'm sure a lot of people have also cats here. But it is another topic. It is another shock. In Russia, I saw like thousands stray cats. Here, you don't have these stray cats at all. At least I didn't see them. Maybe because it is Houston, it is big city, but it is surprising also. I didn't see even one stray cat outside, even one. Usually I'm noticing them, like in Russia they're everywhere. And the example, I was living in an apartment in Lysozavodsk, and when I was going outside, we had these trash cans for beans, maybe beans. Anyway, place where people gathering this trash, and there always you can find, of course, stray cats, like dozens of them, not one, not two, my friends, but dozens. And yes, let's read your comments. Let's read your comments. Did you expect to see people flying Ukrainian and LGBT pride flags in all YAL? I didn't see. Yes, I saw. Yes, I didn't expect this too. Of course, I know what people supporting here, LGBT community, more than in Russia. You can feel here diversity in opinions, and society, of course, different here completely, and they're more tolerant towards and more supportive, of course. I want to change maybe position again, I don't know, because when we started this video I didn't have so much sun, but now we have much more. Anyway, Maybe it will be better to change like this. Yes. I just try to change this location every time. And yes, my friends, it is very, very, very shocking what I saw here. It is people, these kind people, despite everything what Russian government is doing, propaganda. When you will be in the USA, you will understand, of course, what people here in the USA very, very kind, and you feel this very, very well. Yes. Do people get their cats and dogs treated in Russia? My English world. Thank you, Paula, for your question. No. Treated it's these stray cats, nobody cares about them. In far east of Russia, nobody cares, and they live. You can find after winter there like stray cats was frozen to death. You can find this everywhere. It's happening in Russia, like everywhere, especially in far east of Russia, in Siberia. I saw this many times when stray cats was frozen to death. They was frozen like completely. And yes, let's read your comment. Yes, something happened with internet. I hope was right now our connection is better. And yes, yes, I'm sure, of course, stray cats you can find everywhere, but also I'm sure what's in Russia, this situation much, much worse. I'm sure about this. And yeah, other things which was shocking for me, yes, it is in parks you can find restrooms, my friends. It is shocking, completely shocking. Restrooms in parks. Maybe you will say, Alex, it is normal, but not in Russia. In Russia, if you will have benches, example, right now, I'm sitting in the park outside, and you can find here benches, you can find here, yes, tables and restrooms. Example, close to me here you can find also restroom. It is wonderful. It is civilization. In Russian, far east of Russia, in Moscow and St. Petersburg, it is different. It is showcase of Russia. It's not Russia at all. It's like, yes, it's completely different. But Siberia, if you have their restrooms and they're free and they're open here in Houston, come on. And if there you can find restrooms in big cities which supposed to be public, usually they're closed. They're closed, come on. And it is true. It's completely true. They're usually closed. Here I saw like a restroom and I was like, is it free or maybe I must pay money for this restroom? And it's absolutely free, my friends. And it is completely shocking. Anyone can go, anyone can use this restroom who wants, who needs. Let's, where do they go? But one moment. Hope Springs, thank you for supporting, thank you for your support. And also, while we have here Hope Spring, I want to say to you what about new project. I was saying about this before, what we are writing book, my friends, and this book will be about my life. It will be not only about me, it also will be about situation in Russia, what is happening in Russia. And I hope what this book will be interesting for you in future. Or yes, I hope what it will be interesting for anyone who wants to understand little more about Russia and to understand what is happening inside Russia. I'm sure what it will be a wonderful book, and thank you, of course, to Hope Spring, to everyone who is helping me. In future, of course, I will say more details about this, but right now I just happy what we are writing a book, and you can imagine this is another one cultural shock. When I moved to the USA, I didn't expect what I will be able to find supporters, but supporters found me, and they say to me, we will do this together. We will help you to become, to like Stephen and Heather. This kindness, it is shocking. It's not a Russian way. Russian way, we can see it is mobilization, it is genocide, and it's completely different situation. Yes, I want to see your comments. And yes, Alyosha, view Alyosha channel, family denied asylum in Turkey. Dad's wife and school-aged daughter. They were told to leave quickly and have no money to travel to a border. They're desperate, very sad. Alyosha channel. I don't know about him. I will look. Thank you for this recommendation. And that's why I'm very, very lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm here in the USA and I have opportunity to speak without fear, to speak, and yes, I'm happy about this. And I have place where I can sleep, go to the shower, and to relax and to work. Yes. Let's read your, yes? I remember in one of your videos you showing an outhouse. I think it was outside the post office. Yes, close to post. Yes, all far east of Russia, Siberia. It is a very miserable place by architecture. You can feel this depression there. You can feel there very, very difficult. Bad emotions. Very bad emotions when you are in Russia. And architecture giving own vibe. When you living in the USA, when I'm living right now in the USA, this vibe of new life, this vibe, of course, what everything, it is like the USA is changing pretty fast, and you can see this, and they're investing in yourself, country, Texas investing in yourself, and you can see this by quality of roads, by quality. I'm sure you will not find perfect country, perfect. But for me, what I saw in Russia, USA, the USA, America looks much more than perfect, my dear friends, much more. It is wonderful. It is a wonderful place with wonderful people. Yes, wonderful country. Yes. To highlight your comments to Alex. Yes, it will be wonderful if you will highlight comments to me, and because it is easier to see them, because I'm using right now, of course, phone. And another thing what shocked me, of course, it is important to say about prices. And one moment. And Alex, how much do every people, recent oligarchs, stealing so much money that should have been put into infrastructure? They not thinking about people, oligarchs. They're killing people. They have private armies, like Kadyrov. He has private army in Russia. Can you imagine? Russia had a war with Chechnya. And Kadyrov, right now, he's receiving money from Kremlin. It is just Putin buying Kadyrov. And right now he has, of course, this, how would say, um, oh my goodness. Now, right now he has own private army in Russia. Can you imagine? Like Wagner has own army. In Russia, we have private armies, and these armies belongs to oligarchs. And that's why Russia, of course, it is very, very, very terrible country right now. And yes, I'm recommending, I never saw Alyosha's channel, but I will, if you're talking about him, I hope, I never saw him at first, I want to say to you, but I hope that you will subscribe to his channel. If you, my subscribers saying what he is good guy, I believe you, but I will also look at his channel, at his videos, what he's doing. And if you will leave like to him and you will say what it is, we are from my English world, giving like to you, we are supporting you, everything will be okay, everything will be wonderful, and you will be in a good situation. You are a strong guy, we believe in you. Yes, it's important, of course, to show him support, because I know what does it mean to live in Russia, to hide from mobilization. I was living outside on street when I was a child, because yes, I was orphan, and I know what it means to be hungry. I know what it means to live outside on the streets when you don't have food and you're trying to, yes, it's winter, and you're digging this frozen potato, because I mean, or you're eating at summer green tomatoes because you don't have food. Yes, I know what hungry means. That's why it means poverty, and that's why I'm feeling empathy, if I'm correct, towards his situation, because when you don't have home, it is quite difficult situation, especially if he has child and wife, especially. Yes, let's read your comments. You didn't live in an orphanage, you were on the street. I was escaping one family, I mean another family, I was escaping twice, if I'm correct. And yes, I was living with guardians, with one family, with another, and yes, as a result, of course, sometimes when I was escaping with my siblings, I was living on the street. It is true. Yes, but I was teenager, like 16 to 12 years old, if I'm correct. Or maybe 14. Yes, time, I should check this, and must ask my siblings when, where it was. Because I'm already 30, it's easier to forget timeline, because, yeah, life can be, yeah. And yes, thank you for donations, I appreciate it very much, it's very important. My English world asked a question, do people from Rhine, do people in Russian villages feel like no one value them? I was feeling this. I was feeling this completely when I was living in Russia until 16 years old, in village, until 16 years old. And then I was feeling what villagers dying, young people, young generation, they prefer to live in big cities. That's why they're moving from villages to towns, at least, if they have opportunity. Because if you live on $100 per month, where you will take tickets to go to the even nearest town? Come on. Where you will take tickets for renting apartments, even if it costs like $50 or $100? You will not find this money where you can find this. That's why, of course, But anyway, people somehow try to enter moving young population, moving from villages to towns. But at this moment, I'm sure they're moving from Russia to other cities. Ali, in English, oh, how much abuse before Russians get angry enough to risk a revolt? Bill, thank you for donations. There was another donation before, and these questions I don't know answers. On some questions I don't know answers because, come on, nobody knows how much people can be pretty patient. People can be patient too long. Russians, they were suffering like decades from Putin and these oligarchs. They were suffering, and that right now they're dying. Yes. Yes, thank you for everything. Maybe you can do an interview with Alyosha that would get him subscribers. I will be happy to talk with him. I'm happy to talk with everyone, to be honest. And because yeah, I'm studying English and it's helpful for me, and it's also interesting to understand what is happening with him, what is happening. And I will be happy, of course, to make this if he will want to talk with me, because yes, I'm happy to talk with everyone. If he will want to talk with me, I'm, of course, will do this. And yes, other thing which shocked me, I want to say to you, it is prices. Prices, I was saying to you before, like $36 or to when you go into the Five Guys. Of course, I bought there like 2 burgers. And it is a lot, like 2 burgers. But anyway, not $36. 36, come on. By my standards, it's enormous. I'm not Russian oligarch, as you can see. But also I wanted to compare prices on the mobile internet. Example, at this moment, my mobile internet will cost for 3 months. Here 3 fingers. 3 months. It cost like $135. My goodness! $135. Russians lives on this 4 months. In poverty, Russians lives like $100 per month. Millions of people. But here, only for buying, and it's not, you have limit, my friends. How much? 15 gigabytes per month. 15. I want to repeat. Because in Russia, people live in poverty, and right now, of course, in the USA, price is different. But I just wanted to compare, like, just on mobile internet, on phone. Here, yeah, and of course I don't have this money. My sponsors paying this mobile internet. I want to be clear. They're helping me, my sponsors. Thank you to my sponsors, Steven and Heather. But for me, it's insane. Price is, my dear friends, insane. Yes. Oh my goodness, there were so many questions. Oh my goodness, I will try to. And comments. I can see external events changing things and the turning points being less on how bad it is and more how much and less difficult. Yes. Yeah. Oh, Alex, the prices are getting shocking to us too. For me, it is like, come on. It is a lot. Because in Russia you can find, as I want to repeat, people who is living on $100 in villages, in small towns, and they're surviving there for this money. You can find this. Thank you, Lauren, Praznovsky, Lorien, Praznovsky. Hello, Nicholas. I see your message, and hello, my dear Alex. Hello to you, Nicholas, too. I'm happy to see you, too. And yes, I was surprised how mild American TV is compared to Europe and the rest of the world. Yeah, another shocking news for me I want to share with you. When I was in El Paso, in detention center, I was watching TV, and there was advertisement, and they were talking in this advertisement how bad official is. I remember this pretty well, and they're like, they can afford, they're allowed to criticize their government on the TV, and I'm like, come on, are you serious? In Russia, if you will criticize governments online, on TV, you will be punished, my dear friends. You will go directly to the prison. That's cultural shock for me. It is real shock. It is real shock. After Russia, you have opportunity to express yourself, to express your opinion, to say what you think, and freedom of speech. It is, of course, very, very, very like, oh my God, thank you, America. Yes, yes, America has much work to do to address inequality here. Alex, people on social support in USA have around $800 a month at lower end. $800, Russians have $100 per month. $100, my friends. You can, I'm sure, of course, the USA is diverse. It is different country, let's be honest. It is too diverse country, and it's wonderful. What country is diverse? You can find different opinions here. Diversity in nations. When I was in detention center, we were counting from which countries there was people. We were counting like 17 countries. Some people were saying like 20 countries, but there was only 60 people in my dormitory detention center. That is another cultural shock, my dear friends. Winds. I love winds, to be honest. But I don't want to have this mess on my head also. But let's look at this. Anyway, it will be, I'm open. Thank you, of course, and thank you for your donation a lot, Alex. Would you consider fundraising for your legal costs? Yes. When I will find out how much do I need to pay to lawyers, because my process, I'm asking asylum in the USA. I will make this asylum, oh my God, sorry. I will make this fundraising for lawyers. Because I must pay lawyers, to be honest, somehow. And that's why I will try to make this fundraising, because for me it is, I want to live in the USA. I want to be an American citizen. I'm not hiding myself. I know I'm here, yes. And that's why for me it's very important. I don't want to live uncertain life. I am sure about myself, who I am, where I'm from, what I'm escaping. And of course, that's why thank you for your supporting. I will make this fundraising. I will make this. your new sweater looks like on you, looks nice on you. Thank you a lot. This sweater, I want to say to you, was bought by you. I suppose it was bought by Sam, if I'm correct, because a lot of things was bought by Sam. Thank you, Sam, for your supporting. Thank you a lot. And of course, a lot of things was bought by Bill. I appreciate your support. It means for me a lot. Also, I want to show to you, I have here another one. In case I was thinking if there will be, because sometimes you don't know what weather will wait you. You're like, okay, I will take this, that, and that in case. And I took everything. Yes. A good lawyer is the best way to go. Yes, I need a lawyer, and of course it is very important for me. Very important. And that's why when I will have a meeting with a lawyer, I want to find out how expensive it will be, and I want to know how much, because I cannot create from nowhere price. I must be like, yes. And another thing, yes, prices on mobile, like $135 per month, my dear friends. Oh, no, per 3 months, $135 per 3 months. It is a lot. People in Russia cannot afford this, such a majority of people. I'm talking about those who is living not in Moscow and not in St. Petersburg. I'm talking about Russia. Russia, it's not Moscow. Russia, it's not St. Petersburg at all. Yes. And that's what I wanted to say to you, my friends. And of course, it's not everything. It's impossible to say everything in one video. It's impossible. Weather here, another cultural shock. I don't have snow. Winter, January. I'm sitting in this jacket and I'm like, okay. Yes. Without hat, Russian hat, yes. And I'm like, okay. It's very, very nice. Let's read your comments. I thought he'd been granted it already, and that was why he was in Texas. That's a shame. I hope it's granted. My asylum is still continue. That's why I'm here in Texas. I'm doing photos of myself in Houston, and the immigration officer knows where I'm located because I have this phone. And doing this today, I was doing this photo of myself. Yeah, it's located, showing my location, where I'm living, yes, etc., etc. I'm still having this case, and I hope it will be. I don't have. Yes, I will not say more about this anyway, because yeah. Thank you a lot, my dear friends. Thank you a lot. I want to make some conclusions. America, it is a wonderful country, especially if you have experience of living in Russia. Russia, it is becoming like North Korea. Corruption there, it is. I mean, Russia without corruption is not. It's not Russia at all. Yes, and that's why I think it is important to say about this. And of course, I'm happy what I'm here right now. The quality of living here much better. Weather here is wonderful too. That's why I want to say to you, you can also support me, buy me a coffee, subscribe to me. You can find other YouTubers like Dima from Russia. You can find Alyosha, his channel you recommended me today. I didn't knew about him before, to be honest, but I hope that everything will be good with him and with his family. And yes, Thank you for your support. I'm very lucky to be here. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Can you start to GoFundMe page, Alex? Will you start this when you know the estimated costs? Yes, I want to start this when I will know prices, costs. Because right now I cannot create prices when I don't know how much I need. Yes, I must be logical. Yes, and also I will create this fundraiser in future for me, for Ukrainians, and yes, and I will give this money to yes, in future I will do this, but step by step. Great platform, I think he will consider it. Thank you for this recommendation. You're the best. Likes, subscription, and as always, I want to say you thank you to my sponsors, Steven Heather, to moderators, and yes, see you next time. Yes, and you're right, it was a wonderful month. Yes.